Right. I think we're there now. The first thing I said when I started with this team is I think that's everything. I don't think I've forgotten anything. And what I'd forgot to do was restart my NVIDIA broadcast. So there you go. Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Let's get the hellos out of the way, and then we'll crack on with some Gameboy Z80. So who we got here? We've got Mr. G. Well, I'm going to actually can't read it off that one, so I'm going to be looking up into space while I read it. Mr. G, Andy Magic Knight, Steps, Prize 7, Fitrend, True Tonnies, Prince Phase, Chromus Undrift, SP175, Duke Donuts, video games. Yeah, I accepted the invite as well to video games. So yeah, video games. I've lost where I am now. Hayes as well. Yep, video games. Well, maybe that's it actually. Dots to me, Acmafin, Mad Beagle. Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. Okay. So tonight it's Gameboy Z80 time. Feeling pretty good about it tonight because I know what I need to achieve tonight, and I know it's going to be fairly easy to achieve it. So it always makes me feel good when I've got an easy task ahead of me. So let me get my phone put on the charger. So there we go. It's Game Boy Parasol Stars time. No. So didn't they do? Did they do Game? No, I don't think they did. Did they? They did Bubble Bobble. Don't think they did Parasol Stars. I'm really looking forward to getting on with Parasol Stars. So you may find me rushing the Saturday game a little bit, which I need to try and be aware that I'm doing and not rush it. Make sure I give it the attention it's due, because I'm kind of eager to get onto Parasol Stars. So okay, so when we left off last time, actually that music sounds really loud. Let me just knock the music down a little notch. Maybe it's just in my ear that it's loud. Yeah, I'll just knock it down a notch in my ear. Hopefully I'll still hear everything. Music is like, I thought so. Hence will never stream on Saturday ever again. Thanks for the sub as well, Kate Apocalypse. I completely missed that one. Thank you very, very much. And welcome to the stream again. 4 months, awesome. All goes towards the crazy drinking and various things. Although tonight I'm just drinking water out of a Fanta bottle, so I have to drink out of a bottle. I don't know why when I drink water. Been conditioned. Hazy just bought us the C65 likes coding on the PC. Yeah, I think we scared him off assembly. It's fine. He'll be back. He'll be back. Can't write Commodore games in JavaScript, or not decent ones anyway. All right, let me start the quiz as well. Oh wow, you guys have been queuing the tunes already. Some good ones coming up as well. Cool. All right, let me put the races on. Are you ready? Steady. Go. Yes, it's for the pros only. Nah. I've actually made a career decision to move away from JavaScript so I can spend more time doing assembly. And honestly, it's one of the most freeing feelings ever because now I don't have to code in any given language. It's well done. It's entirely up to me what I pick and choose. So I pick the right tool for the task. So okay. So last time when we left off, we were doing behaviors, and I think I'd done, from what I remember rightly, I'd done the bat behavior. and I was going to apply it to the other two enemies as well. The new system. So I've got this new get enemy property system. So that's going to be the first thing that we do. So yeah, we've got this little spring, and this here. So the bat is kind of correct. It could probably do with a little bit more tweaking of the behavior. It seems a little bit fast. It might be all right though. I don't know. We'd have to see. It's kind of but the timing of the bat is quite important for ladders and things. So um, you don't want to be climbing up a ladder when there's a chance a bat's going to get at you. So it's important that we test those out at some point. But I think this is fine for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the same system to the spring down here, and then we'll do the same with the triangle dude. And then what I've also done is today I finished off the sprites that were missing from last time. So it was just this this thing here which jumps up and down, the extra life, the keys, and I already had this droplet animation. So we've got two more enemies to put in after these two. So we'll fix these two behaviors, then we'll add two more enemy behaviors in, and then if we've got time, we'll add the key stuff in. So okay, cool. So what is the scoreboard like before we get going? Let's have a look. So it's still very much steps in the lead. Hayes closing in on second, and then it's close between third and fourth, and then it's everybody else. So it's pretty good. Is the flapping rate of the bat too slow? Yeah, it probably is a little bit. I think it's moving too fast. I mean, for now, I'm not that fussed about it. That I'll tweak all that stuff kind of towards the end. But actually, the flapping of the bat's kind of easy to do. So let's do that quickly. So let's have a look. This is a frame thing here. Time interval. Okay, so it's this one here. I think this is decreasing, so that will double the speed of the bats flapping, I think. It's amazing how I've kind of taken to reading Z80 now. I can't say I enjoy it as much as maybe I should. Well, no, I don't. I don't think I should because it's horrible. I don't even know if I should really call this a bat. I mean, I call them bats because that's what everybody was calling them when the original dot came out, but it doesn't look very much like a bat. So yeah, that does feel better, I think. I think it is. I think it moves a little bit too fast, but actually, let me see if I can change that. It might be a simple one to do. Is it only 14 quizzes on that list? I guess the correct game never ending story, but I'm not on the quiz table list. Oh, really? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not put you on, has it? Oh God, can you remember? I'd have to find a way to add you somehow, and we're not entirely sure how to do that. If you can find the point where you got it right, then I can add you somehow. But I'd have to do it between streams. I'll have to add it for next time. But if you can find a clip or something of where it's happened, then I know how many points to give you, and I can do that. Should make a quiz log. Yeah, I don't have a quiz log. The problem is at the moment the everything that's happened, everything that you're seeing, there is no database. It's all done using local storage. and unfortunately, it's really hard through the Twitch browser to read the local storage outside of the kind of application. So yeah, I think I do probably need to add something. To be fair, I've just most of this has just been thrown together. There's very little thought gone into it beyond making it look like it works. Best shit ever, Aquafin. What are you on about? Coding in JS, reading JS, coding in JS. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's a good idea, Chromos. I should probably do it because there is a few cases as well where bets are not going through and stuff. So maybe a full log of all these things would be handy to have. I just need to find a way to get it to write out from this browser. It's not. It's a very weird kind of. It's like a ancient version of Chromium that they've got stuck in there. I mean, it must be in local storage somewhere, so it must be on the machine somewhere. And local storage is generally just stored as plain text anyway, so I should be able to find it somewhere. I can write something that actually that kind of logs it out to local storage and then keeps a permanent copy of it. Okay. Or there's also cloud-based login systems I could use as well, but I kind of want to avoid any extra connections in it. The fact that it's the fact that it's not got any external connections is kind of nice. The only external connection it does have is to Twitch to load the overlay, so I can log in properly and read certain things. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to put the bat thing over here, and I am going to start to replace the code inside Spring with the kind of new system of doing things. So we're going to have a enemy init Spring up here. And Myth, I like this tune. This is a game I was never very good at. I don't know if I don't know if I played it too early or something. I couldn't really get my head around it properly. I got it on. I think I got it on a copy off a friend as well, so I didn't really understand what was supposed to be happening. And it's actually not that difficult to understand. I think I was just, I don't know, I just didn't quite get it. But I loved the music, so it was just about the music all the time. Okay, so enemy init Spring. So this is kind of what we're doing at the moment, which is setting the direction X and Y. And then there's a default init in here, I believe. Let's just have a look at the top of here. Yeah, initialize enemy basic. See, initializing the enemy basic might be enough. Maybe we don't need to do anything in here. This sets a direction in 3. So I'm just gonna put these up here anyway, just so we can see what those values are. Okay, so we're not going to call anything specific for the initialization. I think we can use what we already have there. I need to keep some of these open and probably close some of these. Let's put the player on. All right, there we go. What's that on? Assets. Yeah, get rid of that one. So it's this one I want. Okay. So how are we doing it with the bat update? So we're doing a Y direction and X direction update, and then doing some timer stuff here. And then we're using that to set the frames. And then doing collision horizontal. Okay, so I think we can copy the majority of this into here and make some changes. So see, this is way more than it needs to be. So I'm just gonna, this is all, actually, let me just double check this is all in. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to overwrite anything, just in case I do for some reason need to go back. I don't think I would do that. So let's work through. So we don't need to update the Y, so we can get rid of that. X we do need to update, and that does need to add our direction in. Our direction is already set in 3, which is correct. And I believe 0, 1, and 2. I'll tell you what, I do need this one. There we go. 0, 1, and 2 is type X and Y, so I can just put these up here. So there we go. It just makes it easy to look and find the stuff we need. Okay, oops. I once again fell asleep this evening for about 2 hours before the stream. So I fully expect not to be able to sleep tonight, despite me going to try as hard as I can. Such is my strange body clock and behavior. Okay, so this is doing a timer, reset, and some frames, start frame and end frame here. Okay, I should have maybe kept the original, but hang on. Just so I could see the frame. Probably work it out actually, but I can do it by just looking. Frame 60 to 68, okay. Okay, so that's going to give us the enemy's going to move and it's going to animate. So we will see this behavior, except it won't turn around at any edges. Let's have a look at that. Should probably kept the old behavior just so I could kind of look at what's. Yeah, see, it's gone off. It should come off for this side. There you go. It's moving quite fast and the animation's going quite quickly. So we can add some timers to that to make sure that only happens every now and again. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this function. I'm going to undo all of this. Just going to keep that version down here, just so I can check it out and make sure that things are kind of as I want them to be here. Okay, so the update is also done as part of the timer update, so we should do the timer update first. Okay, it's easy enough to do. So here's where we're doing our direction, and here is where our timer is. So we're going to move the timer up to the beginning here. We're going to change the interval back to 8 again because it was a bit too fast this time. Actually, this is the timer for. Think about this. Okay, no, what we can do here is we can use we can use the timer twice. So we can use one for the enemy frame, which is going to be this one here, which we're going to set to that. So this is going to go from 8 down to 0. So if we set to, hang on, what would it do? It would go 7. If it's 0, okay, so if it's 0, so this will go 1 to 8, okay. So never actually going to reach 0 at this point. So then here with the add direction, what we can do is we'll just grab the timer and we will end it with 1. And if that is 0, then we'll no move. This is going to just use exactly the same timer. This is the hard timer which we're using to reset back to 8 every time, and it's going to control the enemy frame. But we're going to, at the very beginning, we're going to read the same timer and decide every alternate frame of the timer will move the enemy along a little bit. I think we've also got a timer we can read in RAM for that as well, but this should be fine, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's the animation speed looks correct. The movement speed looks correct. So the only other thing we really need to do here now is make it turn around at the edges. Also, it'd be nice if this actually did bounce a little bit, so we'll work on that as well in a minute. But that's quite easy to do. So, and in fact, this is probably where we will use the init spring. Okay, let's have a look. So we've kind of handled this. We've handled this. We've handled this. We've handled this. So we're down to collisions now, which is these bits here. Okay. So in here, we do the collision check like so. We check left and we check right. And here we check. Yeah, we check them all as well. We check right and down, right, left and down. There should be a check left. Here it is. Okay. And so what happens? It just reverses direction. Okay, so let's get the reverse direction. Okay. Oh, I missed that. SP175 Renegade. Nice. Well done. Okay, so let's put the collide in here. Let's put no collide in here. No collide is just going to do our exit. And collide is going to actually call reverse direction X. Okay, so we can kind of copy the collision from here a little bit. So let's put this in here. Okay, so we're going to load our direction by calling these two things. We're going to compare that to see if we're going left or right. And then we're going to do our collision here. So it's just a matter of changing these. I could probably change the labels, but so this is just checking left and right. This isn't going to check so no collide yet. This is not going to check the floor beneath. So what this is going to do, it's going to change directions when it's blocked, not when there is no floor. So there you go. Oops, let's get out of the way of this thing. And we need to do the invulnerability as well, because yeah, that's something we need to do soon. At the moment, it's far too easy to die. So yeah, and you see it's turning at the edges of the screen and it's turning here, but it's not turning when it gets to the floor here. So that is basically here, just need to do another check, which is check left and down, I believe. This will be check right and down. Oh yeah, steps is a mod now as well. Oh, so it looks like this is having the opposite effect. It's actually turning when there is ground, not when there isn't ground. Okay, so that's easy enough. It's just a matter of changing those to NC, NC there. And hopefully we're good. Yep, that's looking okay. So the only thing I want to do now is make sure that this kind of actually bounces a little bit as it moves. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to use the frame that it's on to determine how far off the ground it needs to be. So the way this is going to work is we're going to take our init function. We are going to actually put an init function in here. What's the basic? There should be a basic date somewhere. Oh, we need to add it in here as well. So it's going to be this one here. Oh yeah, it's as it's not a license to play Christmas tunes. As I said on the last stream, it's still up to me if I don't want to hear a Christmas tune. Where's the here we go, Init Enemy basic. So I kind of feel like we should probably call this as a default rather than so call the default rather than like duplicate code all over the place. And then how do I set enemy properties? Oh, there we go, HL. So we can use any of these values here. So we'll use number 4 here. So this is a kind of shitty way. Actually, no. Do you know what? I'm gonna rather than do this in a strange way, I'm gonna just copy it from here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a new value in here. So the value that I'm going to put into here is the base X value. So I am actually going to. Oh, actually, no. This is fine. I will do it. I will do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our base value, which is our X. Sorry, our Y value is what we need here. And then I need to transfer that somewhere. So I need to just look at get enemy property because I can't remember what that actually uses or not. Uses A, H, and L. Okay, so if I transfer that to B, so that's stored, and then I can grab. Now I'm grabbing the value from this, but what I'm actually doing here is using this to set up HL, because HL will always be set with the value, with the address of this value, the last thing that we call get enemy property. So that's what I'm using this for. I'm just using it to call that. And what I'm doing is I'm recording the original position of the Y position. The reason I'm doing that is because what I want to do next is take our frame and use our frame as a way to work out. Actually, why does it go from 60 to 68? That seems an awful lot of frames. Oh, because it goes in twos, doesn't it? That's right. Oh. There we go. Cool. Sorry, just checking with Doxter on his thing. Oh, FitTrend 1. Yes, you can do quiz via the bot. Yeah. So that's probably why. Yeah. So FitTrend 1. Okay, well that's good. It's good to know that the system worked and didn't miss anybody's points off. Yeah, sometimes it's hard because you can do it through the bot. So you'll get on the chart soon. Um, okay, so the value is going to be 60, 62, 64, or 66. It's going to be one of those four values, and we're going to use that to work out what height to actually draw the enemy at. So what we can do is the frame is going to count um, from 8 down to 1, I believe. 0 reset timer. Yeah, so 8 to 1. That's what we're going to see here. And then the frame is going to increment as we go along. So we can use those two numbers to create a positional change with 32 different positions on it, based on the timer and the frame number. So if we have a look at the frames in here, you can see basically we're on the ground when we're on frame is 60. We should be on the ground. So let's start just by doing based on the frame number. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So we've got the original Y in here, and we set frames here, we set directions here. We can just do it according to, it doesn't even need to be on the timer really. We can just do it here. Set Y according to frame. And this is, it doesn't need to be a lot, it just needs a tiny little lift off the ground just to make it look like the spring's actually doing something. So we're going to get our Y value. And we'll put that into B. Okay, so now B has our Y property in it. So now we can get our frame. Now the accumulator has 60, 62, 64, or 66 in it. So I'm going to start by subtracting 60 from this value. So now our value is 0, 2, 4, or 6. And once again, I cannot remember any of the logical operations. I wish it's one of those things I just can't get used to. There's always something, and I just can't get. This is the one I can't get used to on this for some reason. Okay, so it's going to be. We just need to half it, so we need to shift it to the right. Shift right arithmetic, shift right logical. It's going to be this one, isn't it? Shift right logic point. Yes. Okay. So SRL. So we do SRLA, and now our value is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And now what we can do is we can then grab a value from a table. So I'm going to put it here. Call it Y table. Thanks for the follow, Rally Java, or Rally Java, however you want to pronounce that, and welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure Kickers can do. Yes, it's Gameboy Color. Yeah. So I call this Y offset table. So at the moment, I'm just going to put 4 values in here, and these are going to be the height that we need to move up. So I'm just going to do very simple 0, 4, 8, 4 like that. That's all I'm going to do for now. This should probably be expanded to include the to include the timer value as well, so that this can be a bit smoother. But we'll have a play around with that in a minute. Let's just see if we can get the height right first, and then we can fill the gaps in. Now, I'm going to use DE for this because HL is already has this value in it, which I kind of need. Actually, let's do this way around, so I can keep HL in here, and let's move this into here. First, let's grab. Yeah, let's do that like that. There we go. Okay, so then here we're going to load DE with Y offset table, and now we're going to add put that one in C. There we go. So you can do this before that. There we go. A lot of Z80 seems to be about the order you do things in because it registers. It's kind of stupid. Add the contents of B here. I don't think this is going to cross the boundary, but just in case it does, and this should be E as well, not E. There we go. Just in case it does, I'm going to load this is just going to ensure that carry is preserved. If this does indeed kind of cross over a page boundary, that this will still work. Oh, here we go. Quiz. Okay. So now we have DE pointing to this offset here. So what we can do is we can say we've loaded C with A. So now if we load accumulator with whatever DE is pointing to, actually we can just do like that, I believe. Let me just check if that works. So A register A. Wait, I'm not even sure how that's displayed there. Oh no, you can't do that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you can. No, okay. Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load into the accumulator and then load that into C. Okay. Actually, we can keep it in B. So that's there, and then we can do sub A, comma B, and then we can do load HL, comma A. Okay, so it seems like quite a lot of messing around, but it's just because I had to shuffle things around a little bit, that's all. You got the quiz, by the way. Oh, Cockatony Wolf Hayes got it. Of course he did. Okay, let's give that a try. Oh no, we've got an error. Damn it. All right. 21 springs. Wait, what's that wrong? What am I doing wrong there? What am I doing wrong there? Oh, there's no dot. There we go. My head's still in kick assembler mode. Okay, it's going. I mean, it's obviously doing the Y movement, but it's going a bit crazy. So So let's have a look at this point to see what values we get out of here. Okay, so we're looking in B, and B says CD on this frame. I mean, obviously this frame is wrong, but let's skip to the next one. Okay, yeah, so we're getting very odd values out of this end. Okay, that's fine. Just need to work out what I've done wrong. I've done something wrong somewhere in this calculation, so. Okay, so B, yeah, 50, so that's kind of wrong. I'm going to put my there. I'm going to put a breakpoint there because I think that's going to be more useful than that one there. So this is our enemy frame. Our enemy frame is 60. We're going to subtract 60 from it, which should give us 0. Oh, we need to step through, that's why. Does give us 0. Then we're going to shift to the left. Oh, I need to shift to the right. That's why. That's wrong. Okay. Well, that's one thing, shifting the wrong way. But then I guess when it goes on to the next frame, I don't know why it's suddenly taken off like that, but wait, no, that is shift right logical. No, that is correct. All right. God damn it, my head's getting confused with this now. Let me close all these. That's an interesting tune it's giving you there. I'm not sure why it's giving you that one, but okay. Yeah, so it's going 60 to 0 and then loading B with that. So B is now 0. And it's loading DE with that address. I should add 0 to it. Oh, why am I adding 1 there? Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be adding 1. It should just be like that. There we go. Okay. Sometimes you just need to debug just to see things. A bit quiet. Okay, let me knock them up slightly. Not too much though. There you go. Hey. So B is 0. Okay, this might be right now. Let's close all the windows. Let's get rid of the break point here. It was just me being a bit stupid with my lookup. So it's grabbing values from all over the. Oh. Hey, cheers. No wine on the menu tonight. Bottle of a Fanta bottle with some water in it. That's all that's on the menu. Thanks for the resub. Cheers. I appreciate it, man. Andy and I are involved in the size contest. Okay. So somewhere it's doing a little bit too much, and I don't know why. So let's have a look here. Let's put the breakpoint in here. See what's happening. Oh, hang on. I know why. It's because we should be getting the original value here. There we go. Should get the original value, which we'll then store in C. Then we get the new value for Y. So that it's in HL. Then we'll load accumulator with C. Yeah, there we go. That should be fine now. Except there is no enemy anywhere to be seen there. Let's have a look at this. Get the original Y. Is that actually correct value, or has it not been set at that point? I bet it's not been set at that point. Let's run this through once. It's saying our value is at 0, which is obviously wrong, which means we can't do this here. We need to figure out when that is actually set. So let's have a look. Where's the add enemy? Okay, here's the add enemy. So actually it should be... the problem is I don't think at this point it has actually set our lookup value. So we actually have this value here. Current enemy update, yeah. So we just need to make sure that value is set. Okay. On initializing enemies, so add enemy. Okay, there we go. So that's setting that value in there, and then what we can do on this loop here is oops. Let's try again. No, we're not seeing it anywhere. Okay, in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little. We're going to get rid of this. Get rid of this, and then what I'm going to do at the very beginning here is so we're going to check the original Y to see if it's set. And if that's non-zero, we'll jump to skip. It's going to be here. Call it skip HY in case we see it again. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take push HL there, then I'm going to grab, oops, this one here. This is just going to make sure that we retain that value properly, which means we don't need any of this here. It's gonna do this little check at the beginning of every frame, but it's fine. I need to get rid of that other breakpoint, but yeah, that's still taking off everywhere. God damn it, what is going on with this? Let's get rid of that breakpoint in the middle. That's annoying in there. Okay. Stick a breakpoint in here. Maybe that value is still not set at this point for some reason. Also, it needs to be not dot break, but just break. Okay, so it's never actually getting into this value. And is that because that is not set to 0? That's weird. Okay, so the value is 0. So I would expect this to... It's jumping ahead though. Why is it jumping ahead? Oh, because I've got to compare. God damn you. Which also means I'm probably doing that somewhere else. No, I'm not actually. Okay, good. Gameboy Z80 every time gets me. It's so loud. No, it's still not sunk in. I will get it eventually. I thought it was beginning to sink in, but okay. So it's kind of working, but what's happening now is the collision is screwing up because it's not on the ground anymore. So I think what we need to do is we're gonna cheat a little bit here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and we're gonna do this at the very end. So just separate that out. So we're gonna do this right down here, and then we're gonna force the position by loading this value here. That's what this is going to do. This is just going to make sure that for the collision frame that the enemy position is the original position, not the the actual kind of physical position. Just for the checks. Should be all right, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. Who got that one? Acma Finn, Stunt Car Racer, nice. Very quick as well. I will take a break in a minute so you can have another one soon. Okay. It's still jumping around like a lunatic over here. Okay, so I don't think that's going to work as a positional strategy. Do I have any control over? Check writing down. Okay. Uh, So this is a tricky one because I do want to offset the frame. I'm not sure where it's grabbing that data from there. Okay, you can probably get rid of most of that now. So just done there for now. Right, tell you what, I'm gonna take a quick break, guys. When I come back, we'll figure that out. It's almost there. It's almost there, and then I can move on to the other enemies. All right. Let me find the break button. There it is. Okay, I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Be right back. I'm back. Piracy. That was quick. That was a very quick one. How did that go? Yeah, I need a quiz log just so I can see who's won as well. It'd be nice to know. Okay. So we're doing collision. So part of me wants to kind of move these behaviors, this value check here. So I can change the position of this. I'm not sure how necessary that's going to be though. Let's just have a look at what this get char position does. Okay, so this is grabbing meta sprite information. So it's grabbing the value that's already in the sprite. Okay, so that is obviously going to be a problem. So actually, what we probably do need to do is just change this a little bit. So good for you. But I will always have my homemade and, quite frankly, better pasta sauce. Some okay. So now what we can actually do is jump into this using a forced version, which means we can set the BC ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to move this back up to the top again. I like it at the top. This makes more sense for me for it to be at the top. So the standard will just be to jump into here. Otherwise, we can force and we can change those values here. So that's what we're going to be doing on here and here. Now, those values, I'm just going to copy them straight in from here first. So now what I can do is I can either just jump straight in like this, or I can actually grab the value that we offset by, which was up here, which is stored in B at the moment. I'm guessing it's going to have been destroyed by then, which it has. So is there any way of saving that? Can I put it in C? So it's something else going to destroy it if I put it in C. Oh yeah, this is going to destroy it. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something a little bit wacky here. Okay, so I'm going to load the accumulator with the contents of C and hope that none of these have actually checked anything. Oh no, enemy check left will have done already. Yeah, fuck. Okay. But up until that point, we're fine. That's the annoying thing here. Up until that point, the C has not been used. Oh, actually, we could Halloween. Yeah, the weird thing is with Marmite is I can't stand it as a an ingredient for anything else, but it just adds a nice little bit of a tang to a bolognese. Um, hmm. I don't want to have to grab this value again. That's the frustrating thing. That this value that's in B, big B. Yes, the value that's in B here. Oh, actually, what I can do if it's in B here. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got ridge equals 4 and frame equals 5. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put y offset equals 6. Oh no, we're using timer for 6. Okay. 7 is frame. So 5 I can use, I think. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to bung it in 5. Cool. All right, let's make this easy. I knew this was going to be a pain in the ass one, so it is an acquired taste, but yeah, it does go really nice. And I've not tried it in gravy actually, but I imagine it's quite good. Chocolate in gravy is good. I know people are going to think I'm weird for that. Yeah, add wine to the meat while it's cooking. Like just brown it and then add some wine to it. And yeah, half to a quarter of an oxo cube, and then when you put all the sauce together, stick some Marmite in it. Job done. Yeah, Marmite is an acquired taste. You probably won't like it, but I think it's disgusting. But I think that plus an oxo cube. You only need like like half to a quarter of an oxo cube, not much at all. Uh, okay, so this is our offset in B here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to okay. So now I can actually use these values. So if I do this here, and now that's going to add our Y offset to the collision check. So it's always going to be checking along the floor no matter how high we are off the ground. Which will create a weird kind of illusion of it. Oh, actually, it's still not right though. Look at it. It's kind of better, but not. Still changing direction at the wrong point for some reason. Not sure why though. Uh, Because you kicked out of the EU for your food, yeah. Actually, you can get a Marmite mini cheddars. They're not bad, and I kind of like Twiglets as well, which are based on Marmite. So I can't explain that either. It's because they do taste like Marmite. So win income. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, I'm just kind of my head is not kind of working this out correctly for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, this gets the offset and stores it. So unless I'm using that somewhere else, I don't think I am using it anywhere else. So no, I'm not. Maybe if I just add one to the collision check, so it's checking a little bit further down. It's like whenever it's going. Hang on, let me check what these values are coming out of here. So stick a breakpoint in there, and let's stick a breakpoint on the other side because these values should never be more than 8. I think it was. So knickknacks. Oh, I've got an urge for Twiglets now. Not a healthy urge at all. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4. Yeah, that's correct. That's the high off the ground here. 8. Why is it moving? I don't get why it's moving the other way all of a sudden. Maybe it's maybe it's this check here. So let me just cancel this check out. And remove the breakpoints. Is it reversing the frame order? I don't think so. It does seem to be doing strange things there. Why with this? Why? Let's just put the break here. Let's see what that value happens to change to. Okay, so what am I checking here? BC. Okay, BC FE13. Yep. Wait, where's he getting that? Oh, because it's 1.3. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, it goes up, gets to here. It does look like, I think you might be right. It does kind of look like the frame order is reversing, and it suddenly, it's like it gets. when it gets to the top, it just reverses. So okay, let's try the other change then. Let's get rid of this and blank this bit out instead, and just call this bit. No, see, it's fine there. It's just not. So that the animation looks spot on there. The animation is exactly what I wanted, but for some reason this collision check is not working properly. Why is that not working? That's what I don't understand. This is an odd behavior. Oh, hang on. Hang on. It's collision solid. Oh no, okay, that's okay, let's just put one in like that and try flipping this around again. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's leave that side out and do the right hand side instead. God, this is irritating. No, SP175 is I think maybe closing in. It's got a few tonight. It still is between Eldritch, so it's just close between you two. There's three contests going on. There's Hayes and Steps, there's SP and Eldritch, and then there's everybody else. Yeah, look, the right hand side. Oh, I got to say, I really need to put that. It doesn't seem to make any sense. See, the frames look alright, but it doesn't seem to make any sense when it decides to turn around. And that frame offset should be the value that I need. I can only imagine that that frame offset is pointless and doesn't work properly. In which case, we can probably solve this just by making this value really high. But then this is probably going to do strange things when it's on a surface that isn't exactly 2 tiles thick. But that's something that can maybe work around. I kind of just want to get onto the other behaviors right here. Oh God, I really need that invulnerability in. Okay, but that looks like it's fine now. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to do that on both sides for now. We'll come back to why that's not working at a later date if it becomes a problem. It may not become a problem. It depends entirely on the thickness of the platforms I put those things on. But if I don't put them on thin platforms, then we should be fine. And the only thin platforms are bridges and girders anyway, so. In fact, I can solve that issue as well. So if I set this to, so 1-0 will be the exact sprite border. So if I set this to 1-7, and then make sure that this only goes up to 7, like that, that's probably all right. This sounds like Josh Wink. That'll do. There we go. And that should be all right on a thin platform as well. So, okay, cool. I don't want to spend any more time on that. It's annoying me. Okay, the other one is very, very simple. We're going to use the spring as a basis, but it's actually going to be much simpler than any of these, which is the triangle one. And let me just go and delete this extra code at the end of here as well that we don't need. Enemy triangle update. Okay, so the triangle update is basically the same, except there is positional frame updates. All right, so fine, it's fine. Let's just move this down. Just have to do it in sections. This is, yeah, I was going to say this is Halloween. Okay, let's make sure that the enemy is triangle. Just make sure that works. Hang on. Okay, so we've got the triangle in there. Yep, that's good. So we're just going to change that update to work with the newer system instead. So we don't need to set an original Y. We don't need to set the Y. We do need to do directional movement. So I'm going to keep that the same. Okay, this is our set frame. Now, set frame needs to be based on the direction we're facing, so it's not just as straightforward as this, but we can just grab this from positive, negative down here. Thanks for the follow, Deathbat. Deathbat 010 or 010 or Deathbat. Deathbat 2, let's call you, because I'm just going to assume that's binary. So welcome, Deathbat 2. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to take our frame update, which we have here, and we need to make it work with this frame update instead. So the way this is currently working is it's grabbing our direction. Now our direction should be the same as in here. So let me grab these values. Let's put these at the top. So we don't have that. We don't have that. These are the other values that we've got. So we've got a direction in 3. And you can see in here, we grab and do a check here. So I'll move this check up to, let's have a look. Reset frame would be here, okay. Otherwise, okay. Just trying to work out. Actually, let's do this as 2 separate pieces. That's probably the easiest way to do this. So let's do timer pause done. So let's just leave that as timer done. So it's just at the end. And let's make this positive. Okay, so what we need to do is grab that value. So we need to grab the value from what was it again? I forgot the number. 3. Get enemy property. And now we can do do this, and this is going to give us positive or negative depending on what we are. So we'll make this one negative, which means this is moving left. And this one can be positive. Moving right. So that's it. And then we just need to change the behaviors slightly in these. So negative, we increase, we go from 40 to 46. So that's negative here, increase, go from 40 to 46. Hang on, we're in the wrong bit, yeah. Positive would be, okay, let's do the negative first. So negative, this one, increase, go from 40 to 46. And that means that the positive one is going to be from 44 to 3 and decrease. Okay, so 44. Decrease. Okay, so that should be our frames now, and that should work correctly in both directions. Let's return at the end here. I'm slacking with the reading tonight. To stay inside or not to stay inside, that's the binary, yes. You know, so when they think in binary. Anytime I see a number that's just zeros and ones, I think binary. That's just, yeah. Oh wow, some interesting tunes being picked here. Tubular Bells, 2 versions of Tubular Bells. Oh no, it's only picked one though for some reason. Huh. Or if you see 100. It just looks kind of, well, actually, that's a good point. If it starts with a 1, probably not as much. If it's 1 and just zeros, I'd probably look at that and think 100, but yeah. I think if it's like 010, then definitely it looks like binary. But also if it's like 1010, that looks like binary as well. It's weird. I saw that there's I should try and learn it as well. But there's a language format for expressing hexadecimal numbers. So basically, like C-teen would be 1C. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it is, but it's that kind of thing. I should learn it and just freak you all out. Okay, right. So all we need to do now is the collision, which is just a reverse direction thing. So actually, we can do this. We can actually do this as part of our update here, I guess. Hang on, let's think about this. So blah blah blah. Get enemy property. Yeah, okay, we can do it here. It's fine. So we'll just do a check here. So this is negative, so this is moving left. So I'm just going to grab the moving left check from in here. It's literally just this little bit that we need, nothing else. Oh no, it needs to check. It's the same collision check, isn't it? All right, damn it. It's actually, in fact, it's exactly the same collision check. So just going to copy the whole thing. Drop it in there. Oh, it's not quite exactly the same. These can be removed. So Okay, I think that's it. Let's give it a try. Oh no, I've made a mistake somewhere. Triangle sub 2. Reset frame already defined. Oh crap. Okay. Bleh. Okay, it moves a bit too fast at the moment. It looks like it's sliding, so I just need to slow that movement down. Which is this one. So I'm just going to half it with that. Oh, that doesn't seem to have slowed it down at all. Oh, there you go. That's better. There we go. Sweet. All right. So now we can move on to another enemy. So I'm going to do a nice simple one now. So let's go into here. Add in. So this is going to be enemy type 4, and this is going to be I don't know what you'd call it actually. Stack. Oh, okay. Okay. Don't care about that. We're going to do this thing here. I don't even know what to call it. I'm going to call it dart because it looks a bit like a dart. So dart update. There we go. Right. So we're going to add new enemy in here. New file. Dart.asm. And this is where we're going to include our new dart enemy. I'm going to add it in here as well. And then we're going to add one into to here. Now these are really simple. They don't have any collision. They robocalls. Oh yeah, it's like a robot fish, isn't it? I've called it dart now. Too late. But it does. Yeah, it's a bit kind of robot fishy, I guess. So these live just kind of underneath the surface. So they need to be kind of here like that. Now I don't know how this is going to work. If this is actually going to show them above or below, they should be underneath, but they should be visible through the transparent part. So I'm hoping that this just works. Otherwise, I might have to set some attributes for this. So who got that? I missed that one. Yeah, I didn't even see what that was. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know who got that one. It looks like maybe Steps got that one because a few of you went for fish. Went for gold. Yeah, okay, it was cool. Okay, so what do we need to do then? Right, we need to create the very basics of this now. So we need our section. Enemy darts. Probably don't need this at all here. Oh no, actually, I think we will. I think we will need some values in here. Yeah, we are definitely going to need some values in here. Okay, I need to remember how this needs to be set up now. So we'll come back to that in a second and set these up. Let's just get it in and make it spawn, and then we can see if it's actually enemy dart dates. Right, let's see where that appears. I have a funny feeling this is going to appear in a way. In fact, it's not going to do anything because we're not setting its frame. But okay, so it's setting. Yeah, you can see. So it needs to appear behind. Now, this is just for this. Well, actually, there's two sprites that it needs to appear behind them. Because obviously, if we just make it appear behind on everything, then this is going to go behind here. And we don't want that. But yeah, okay, so need to think of an easy way of doing this. Now we can make it a property in here, but then that needs to be propagated through the enemy update sprites, wherever that is. Update enemies, which just copies into the copies into the sprite OAM stuff here. So instead, what I think is what we might be able to do is if let's try something out here. I'm actually going to have to go for a break in a second. In fact, I'm going to go for a quick break now. Thank you for the follow, Mandragora X. Sorry, guys, we really need to go to the loo. I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'll work out how we can best do this. All right. Where's my quiz board? There it is. All right, right back. All right, I'm back. DJ Puff's volcanic capers, whatever it's called. Warlock was robbed. Why was Warlock robbed? Why was he robbed? Oh, he's still the break. Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got to say the full name of the game, fortunately. Right game engine, but wrong game. Interesting. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to force this sprite to appear behind things. So what I'm thinking is of doing this, changing the attribute data for that particular meta sprite. Now, I believe that the meta sprite should be based on the enemy numbers. So let's try that theory out. Why am I getting... Oh, who went? Who we got 15 in the list now? Who entered the list for the first time? Oh, was it Andy? Yes, nice. You got it quick as well. It's sick. Oh, you just messaged me with it as well. Cool. Good. It's about time somebody got their own game, or the game they should be getting anyway. Nice. It's good to see the list building up. So, okay. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use this property here. So let's write what we're doing here. Force behind scenery. Now I might need to test this on 2 screens to make sure it doesn't break the next screen as well. I've got a really itchy eye for some reason. That's going to be annoying. So Game Boy sprite attributes. Okay, VRAM sprite attribute table sounds good enough. Oh, that wasn't it. Sprite attribute, here we go. Attributes flags. Object to background priority, object behind background color. Above background. Okay. So that's bit 7 set. So we need to set bit 7 on byte 3 based on the value we get from here. Now, this is meta sprites. So meta sprites might not necessarily follow that same pattern. In fact, I'm pretty sure they don't. So let's go and have a look at what meta sprites look like. It doesn't actually say anything here. Okay, great. So I need to find it here. So there should be a build sprites. Here we go. So it looks like attributes is the last one anyway. So look, we've got. Oh no, the first one is flags. Okay. Okay, so it goes flags y x tile them. Okay, so we need to take this value and we need to times it by 4 in order to get the meta sprite offset. And the meta sprite offset is going to be plus. Yeah, so hang on, let's. So if I load HL with meta sprite OAM, we load the accumulator with our current enemy, and now we need to multiply this by 4. So we need to shift this to the left. So shift left. Logical? No. Oh my god, I wish I could understand these. They don't make any sense, half of these. Is it that one? Shift left arithmetic. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Shift left arithmetic, okay. I need to do that twice to multiply by 4. Oh my god, why can't I remember how to use this anymore? There we go. And then I can add L to it and load L back with the accumulator. Right, so now HL is pointing to this value. So if I grab that value from HL, and all I need to do is set bit 7. So if I OR that with, actually I can do it with, is it just set? Yeah. Okay, so let's see if that forces that behind the scenery now. That's a good job that wasn't the quiz. 18. Okay, that should be that. Okay, it hasn't moved it behind the scenery. In fact, it hasn't moved anything behind the scenery. So now I'm starting to wonder if that value is even correct at this point. So let's have a look at our VRAM. Okay, so this is our OEM. So this is our. Hang on, only it's 10, isn't it? At a time we've got. So we've got 4, 10. Yeah, so it's this one, and I can see the flags are definitely not fit. So if I tick, can I actually tick that box? Doesn't seem like I can actually. Yeah, that's a bit frustrating. Time bar here. Time bar. I'm not sure this is correct then at this point. Let's put a breakpoint in here. Let's see if that's even getting hit. It might not be getting hit. That could be the problem. Okay, no, it is definitely being hit. Okay. And we're at this point here. So HL should be pointing to our sprite A4, which is correct. That is the right sprite. Let's go and have a look at that location in memory. C0A4. No, that's not being set. It isn't set in that bit. So let's interesting. It's not set 7. Okay. And I need to go and have a look at this. I'd have just been better off oring it. That would have been easier. Oh, no, it's set it. But then by the time it gets back again, it's been reset again. So I think something when it's updating that meta sprite is changing that flag. So you just need to make sure that sprite temp flag. Okay, sprite temp flag. See where that is. Something is changing that value back to 0 again. I'm not sure what. Something is changing it. What is changing it? This is where we build the sprites. Update enemies. All right. But this is not updating the enemy sprites. That's just updating the enemies. That's not set enemy sprites. Here we go. Okay, so which one of these is setting? So this is our tile number. It's not that one. Flags, here we go. Correct palette. Okay, so the palette is applied here. I am going to suggest that what I need to do here is ensure that whatever value I'm trying to put into this location retains bit 7. Okay, so shit, am I going to do this? Okay, so where is DE? DE is here, meta sprite. Okay, so this is the first value. Okay, so I think what I can do on the very first value, because this is going to be the first. Ah, shit, no, this needs to be here. Okay, I load the accumulator with the contents of DE, and then and that with 80. And then I think what I can do. I bet I can't do this. I bet I cannot do that. Stupid fucking language. No, I can't do that. Of course I can't. For fuck's sake. All right. Okay. Okay. In that case, I'm going to load me with the accumulator. Stupid language. Okay, so we're looking for this location remaining the same, and it is remaining the same. And there you go, it's behind. Now, the problem is this is probably not gonna clear when we move on to the next screen. So I need to check that as well. So what I'm gonna do, oops, too much there. So we're going to have a look at this value again, C0A4. So there it is. So the 8 in this 80 here is what makes it appear behind. uh, thanks, Fitren, for the bits. Yeah, good Wi-Fi advice there. Those steps has crossed 300,000 now. It's still close between you two at the top though. Okay, so I need to jump over that because it's going to kill me. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Uh, okay. Okay, we've got another problem here. What the fuck? Okay, it looks like our screen kind of stuff has broken. So what I want to check is this data actually being moved? Ah, okay. It should be fine now. There we go. Okay. So what I want to check is on this screen. Okay, cool. It does clear it. Okay, so we only have to do it once, and then it's set behind. So we can move that into the. Actually, no, we can't move it into the init function because we don't have a current enemy number at that point. But it means we don't have to reverse our code either. Oh, SP, so unfortunate there. Luna, yeah. Interesting though that we're dying when we hit that. Obviously, the sprite collision is quite unforgiving here. So I might need to reduce those down a bit, the little sprite collision things. But in fact, I'll do that now while it's in this position. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this this code into enemy section here, and I'm just going to call it force enemy behind scenery. Because we're going to need this for the droplets as well, so we're going to need that. Okay. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a third bottle of wine. I had such a bad hangover on Sunday. I went to bed not feeling too bad at all, but got up on Sunday morning, I felt really, really bad. So I don't think I'm gonna maybe drink two, but it's probably more likely gonna be 1.5. But my God, my head just hurt all day. Even thinking about it now is making my head feel a bit funny. So okay, so I'm gonna reduce the collision sprite collision down a little bit. So this is what we're doing here. This is our range basically. This number here is double this number. So I just need to kind of reduce this a little bit. Now the thing is what I'm doing here is I'm taking the difference between the positions. And I actually need to kind of center the positions themselves. So let me just draw this on a piece of paper. Let me figure that. Well, actually, I'll do it on here. Okay, so if I've got a sprite that goes from here to here, right? And this is at 0. This is at 15. Oh, damn it. And then I've got another sprite which goes from here to here. And this is, say, 12 to 27. And I don't want this to act as a collision. I want it to be anything when the gap between them becomes more than sorry, the overlap becomes more than 3. So how would I do that? So at the moment what I'm doing is I'm subtracting the position of one from the other. So I'm doing this subtraction. I'm doing 12 minus 0. And then I'm adding 15, which is giving me this 27. So it's giving me this total width here. Which is fine. I could make this check for 26, for instance. So I could add 15, but compare the value to 26. So this would basically, yeah, that could work. But then what happens if it's the other side? Actually, would that work? The combined. Get the difference between them. So if it's the other way around, so let's say this is 0. But no, let's just do it the other way. So minus 12 plus 15 gives me 3. Fucking hell, I can't even work that out in my head, right? So 3 would be less than 26, but it would still be wrong because we would want this to be 4 or more. So actually, we'd need to add the extra value to here. So this would be like this, right? So so this is sprite width plus buffer. Oh, let's call it margin. And then this value here is sprite width minus margin times 2. Right, okay, so that's how we need to do it. Okay, I hope that made sense. If it didn't, that's I don't know how better to explain that, but let's give this a try. So actually sprite width is 16, it's not 15, but we were looking for some overlap here, so let's make this correct. Okay, so this is the sprite width, this is the margin is now 0. So if I make the margin 5, then I need to do the calculation differently here. So this would be 22, right? So let's have a look. Let's have a look at that. Let's just have a look at that from the point of view of here. Oops. Oops. Okay, let's just do it again then. 16 plus 5, 22. Sprite width minus margin, 22. Okay. So this should not be a collision. This should fail as a collision because what we're looking for is a margin greater than 5 here, and the margin between these two is 3. Yeah, magic numbers. I might actually put a margin parameter in here. That's not a bad idea. Thanks for the follow, Yazik YZ. Oh, it's a sub. Thank you for the sub, Yazik. Sorry, I'm getting so used to saying follow, I didn't even realize it was a sub. Yeah, let's actually do that here. Okay, so I forgot to do this now. Is it just that? I think. I normally don't mind magic numbers that much, but I think it probably makes sense to put these in here like this. I need to go and check them around because I can't remember how this is set up. Yeah, it is like that. Okay. Hey, Isengard, I like this tune. And then we'll do this check against these values. Okay, so looking at this, we need to determine if this function is going to work correctly. So we're going to add. Oh, sorry, right. So we subtract the two positions. Let's do this one to this one first. So that gives us 12. Then we're going to add these two values. So that gives us 21, 33. No, that's not right, is it? That's not right at all. Okay, let's say the margin was 0, right? 28. Okay, so that kind of works. So what have I done wrong here? Don't worry about it. Just wanted to show you I really enjoy streams. No problem. How am I tonight? Oh God. I'm okay, thank you. How are you? Actually, that didn't show. That's weird. That didn't show up in. It showed up in my chat over here, but it didn't show up in my chat here for some reason. That's strange. I'm good, thank you. Just trying to work out the maths around this, and I just realised by putting these these magic numbers in as constants, I've just made this kind of a lot harder to read. So harder to read because of the size of the thing. So I'm just going to try and reduce them down a bit. I'll just put some notes at the top here just to say what they are, just in case it's not obvious. God, this tune, man. I've not heard this tonight. It's the first time, so. Sound is very off. This tune is horrible. It's a deliberately off. Yeah, it's painful. Please, man, this tune is terrible for my ears. Yeah, I disconnected chat. Ah, that'll be why. Yeah, chat's been really weird recently. I don't know why. I have no idea why it's been doing that. Twitch being cheap, I guess. Okay, so I don't think this is quite right. So if we subtract these, we get 12. No, the original check was, just to put this in here, it was adding the sprite width. Actually, it is sprite width -1, I think it needs to be. I think that is correct. because it's this from 0 to 15. There is the distance from here to here is 15. Even though there's actually no, God, whatever, it's fine. So if the margin is 0, then we need to basically take these numbers, add them together, and if that number is less than double the width, okay. But if the margin is not 0, then what we're actually doing is reducing the width of this by a little bit and reducing the width of this by a little bit. So what that means is in order for them to overlap, there needs to be, we need to take these values, get the total width, which we have here. So actually, I don't think we need to include the margin here. So let's just not include the margin there. So that gives us 27. And then we compare that to our width minus the margin times 2. So if the margin was 3 here, that would be 15 minus 3, which is 24, times 2. Wait, this doesn't feel, something's wrong about this. It's because it's this times 2 minus margin. Okay, that's better. So the width times 2 is 30 minus the margin, which we'll say is 3, gives us 27, which makes this right on the border of it. Now let's do it the other way around. So 0 minus 12 is minus 12. Add the sprite width, which gives us plus 15, which gives us 3. And now we're comparing 3 to sprite width. Okay, so that is, yeah, okay, so get this right in a minute. Okay, so start again. So 12. Okay, so 12 minus 0 is 12, plus 0 is 27. So our width is 27 minus minus our margin, which is 3. So that's 24. So our value is 24. So then we take the sprite width, times it by 2, 30. Minus, so hang on, so it's sprite width 12 minus 0, yep. 27, 24. Okay, so 24 at this point. Just going to put some notes in here so I remember the numbers. Okay, so 24. And then we're comparing that against sprite width times 2, 15, so it's 30 minus it's 27. 24 is less than 27. But that shouldn't be right because it should be, the numbers should be the same. So just put that times 2 as well, which is, I can simplify that, but for now I'm just going to leave it like that. That would give us 24. Okay, so let's go the other way. So 0 minus 12 is minus 12 plus the sprite width gives us 0 plus sprite width, sorry, 3 minus the margin gives us 0. And then we compare that against sprite width times 2, which is 30. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that is right. Okay. So this, I was right the first time, pretty much. Oops. I hate thinking about things like that. It's just annoying to do these things when your comparisons have to work in this way. So by increasing this margin here, we increase the buffer that allows us to before we actually hit something. So I'm going to test that out now by moving that that enemy just up a little bit. This one here, just so it pokes out of the ground, and then we'll be able to see how far we get on each side before we die. See sprite W not defined. Okay, I can't define that here, really. Really? That works. All right. What was that? That went really quickly. Here, how many was that? How many points did you get on that one? I swear that only just appeared. So how fast did you get that one? 12K ish. Okay. Okay, so we should be able to get. Oh, you see, no, it's way off. We're dying way before we even get to it now. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at this. So the problem is now we're dying way too soon now. So let's extend this out a little bit. So let's move this over like this. I mean, it's slightly exaggerated, but so let's do this now. Okay, so the difference between our positions is 20. We need to add a sprite width minus the margin, that gives us 32. Assuming we're doing this in threes. Margin of 3, which we're not, we're doing a margin of 5, but let's do a margin of 3 because they should not be colliding. And then we compare that to sprite width 50 times minus 12, 24. So yeah. Why do I need to do that or something? What is wrong here? What is wrong here? I'm gonna just keep that commented out. I'm go. Oh, fuck. Okay. I will keep them as hexadecimal, but I will actually put the proper numbers in. All right. I was making a really wide sprite, so. Okay, that seems to be about right. Although it doesn't seem to be taking the margin into account at all, but whatever. Okay, now. Oh, am I just doing this on the vertical? Am I freaking doing this? No, this is on X. Okay. Okay, so if I increase this value, hopefully I can get closer. So I'm hoping. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. All right, this is good. This will work then. So I'm going to put that round about 6, I think. I think that's probably about right. And I'm going to implement this same check down here as well. So get rid of that now. Get rid of that. Because this needs to be done on the Y as well. So we're doing it here. So just going to do that like that. So that should give us the same collision buffer all the way around. And the reason we kind of need that is because not all the sprites come right up to the edges. So this is the sprite that we were moving into, and you can see there's a gap of 2 here. So they are at the top and the bottom, but I want to give the player a little bit of kind of a little bit of leeway. You really need to be kind of right up there inside the sprite to have it affect you. If you just clip it gently, then I think it should be forgiven. So I'm going to test that by pushing it back to the underground area, and I should be able to walk past it now without dying. Which I can. Cool. Right, which is exactly what I need, because I need these to be able to jump up and jump down in a minute. Cool, right. So after all of that, I can finish off this behavior now. Okay, so this behavior is quite simple, but we do need to set some values up here. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do, well, we've got a timer already. We've got a direction already. So this will be set to 0. Okay, so we do actually need to change some things in here. Okay, this is fine. So let's grab our initial behavior is this one here, and let's copy. Oh no, direction is set to 1. Okay, so direction is set to 1. So that equals 1. And then we can do what we want in here. So frame and timer, I'll leave. Actually, frame doesn't matter either here, really. Oh, actually, yeah, it does because we need to set that value to set the frame correctly when the sprites copy. Timer we're going to use for two things here. So first of all, there are two times that happen here. There is the time that it stays static for underground, which is going to be the initial timer. So we need to set that value. And then there's once that timer hits 0, it will start to move upwards in one direction. So when that value when it starts moving up, it needs to move up for another set amount of time. Then when it reaches the top, it needs to go down for the same set amount of time, and then it needs to reset again. So what there needs to be in here, we need to reset that timer, and we need to set a state in here. So we'll use number 4 as our state. Okay, and then we set the frame based on which state we're in. So basically, the first two states will have the arrow pointing upwards because this is where it's at the bottom and where it's flying up, and then the other state will have it coming down. Coding going to plan tonight then? Yeah, pretty much. It's a few things I've had to change, but it's always the case at this point in the game. You've got quite a lot of code. I mean, we're what 20 episodes in. We have 20, yeah. So there's like 60 hours worth of code. Well, probably about 30 hours worth of code, 30 hours worth of talking, but there's quite a lot of code in here, and kind of having to kind of jump between different projects makes it a bit tricky sometimes to do stuff, but it's going all right. It's going pretty much as I wanted it to go. So maybe a bit slower than I would have liked because of a few hiccups, but nothing major. Okay, so I am going to copy this here. So we're not going to use this basic initialization. We're going to try and set these values directly. So direction needs to be, well, it can be 0 to begin with because it's, actually, we don't even need a state. We can use the direction to work this out. Yeah, we don't even need a state. We'll use direction to work this out. So the only thing we do need to do is set our timer. So this is timer. Sorry, this is frame. This is timer. Okay. So this is the initial time. So this is going to be how long before something jumps up. So I'm going to try just setting this to a maximum value first, and we'll see how long that takes. And if that's too quick, we may have to use the system timer to work out how quickly we decrease this. Okay, so let's start by let's do the last thing first. So we're going to set the enemy frame. So this is going to be based on our direction. Yeah, so we're going to use the direction to work out which frame we need to get. So direction is bit 3. So we'll call get enemy property, and now the accumulator is either going to contain 0, 1, or -1. So if the value is 0 or -1, then the arrow will be pointing up, otherwise it will be pointing down. So we will compare this to 1. So that's down, and this will be up. So up, down, and I'll have set frame here. Okay. And this is going to be like so. So what we need to do is set the value in B. That's what we're aiming to do, so that we can then do this. So that means here B. So we're going up. So that frame will be. Okay, so 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0. So 4, 0, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 6. So up is 4, 6, down is 4, 8. Okay, so that should set the frame. Let's just move that up a little bit so we can see it again. So let's just stick it back at that position. Just want to make sure that it's actually setting the correct frame here. So it should be pointing up at this point, which it is. The colors are wrong, but that's fine. Colors are in here, I believe. Palettes, yeah. Okay, so we need to set the palette as well for these. So I'm going to set palette number 5. Let's go and set the palette according to what we need. So this needs to be like a gray color. See in here. So at the moment it's using this palette here, which is giving us this weird kind of mixture. And this, it's just going to pick a random palette until we actually. What are you typing in there? Oh, just song requests. I see. Okay, so palette wise, this needs to be some grays and stuff. So so it needs to be like a very light gray at the top. So like that kind of color. That's probably a bit too light though. So let's go down to 1/8. Then this one, it's probably not that bad actually. Try and make it slightly darker though. And there we go. And then this one needs to be a lot darker. So too dark. Okay, let's go 7. I'll make this one a bit darker so it matches slightly better. There we go. I think that is way too dark still. So let's go 9. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so these are the values I need to put into the. Oops. Random question: Have you ever lost, like, say, the hard drive crash, many weeks of coding? Not for a long time. Not since GitHub and Bitbucket and stuff like that, and cloud stuff. But in the past, I have, yeah, definitely. Um, what I used to do to try and avoid that was at the end of every day, burn something to a CD or copy it to a floppy drive when things were that small. It was worse when you used to work on Commodore 64 and I had no disk drive. So all I could really do was save to tape. So every time I wanted to save, I had to save to a tape. Um, and that meant like if I got a CPU jam, it's gone. That's it. I've got to load from tape again. So that's hard. That things are a lot easier now, even without GitHub. Just the fact that you can save something quickly and put it onto some external media like a USB drive or something like that. But yeah, I moved from kind of discs and CDs to USB drives, and then really it just all became in GitHub and stuff. So uh, GitHub changed things quite a lot because until that point you kind of had to run your own servers or use kind of quite terrible services and terrible kind of source control methods, but SVN was not great in that. So um, yeah, Parasol Stars is a perfect example. His wife destroyed everything, so he lost the will to. Oh, very good. That was quick as well. My God, Parasol, that was lightning fast. Oh yeah, so you guys are getting some pretty faster guesses tonight. Uh, oh wow, nearly lost all of toys. Can you imagine that? Bit of humper. Okay, right. Let's get those pallets in. So that means we need to go. Is it initializer? Can I remember where this is? Yeah, there we go. Thank you for the follow, Dark J75. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I'm really getting into these these Oompa songs. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm getting into them, but I am. There's something about them just makes me want to jump around. So these numbers that I'm putting in here are the numbers from this palette here. These numbers along the bottom. I'm finding it's the easiest way to do this is to just kind of change the palette until it looks right in the game, and then go and manually set it. You can probably kind of update your your whatever editor you're using to export palettes, which is what I'm doing for the main kind of colors and stuff, but just not doing it for this yet. This is a lot of fun, this tune. Okay, so that should be our palette sorted now. So now if I load this up again, this should be this color automatically. So let's give that a try. Cool. Right. So we've got the palette sorted. We've got our initial frame sorted. So now we need to sort the timer out now. So basically, what we're going to do now is up here. Still, I can say I recognise that. I couldn't figure out what it was. Who was it who said they'd never played Portal the other day? I mean, it's just one of those games you have to play. In fact, I'm going to play it again. I might play that tomorrow. It's been a while since I played it, so maybe a bit based on direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to grab the direction again here, but we're going to jump to various places depending on what this is. So if it's non-zero, we'll jump to up, and we'll call it move up, and then we'll check there as well. So this is wait. Call it wait move. This is going to be move up. This is going to be moved down, and this is okay. So move up is basically going to do another comparison here, and I almost forgot to do the comparison. So moving up is when the direction is negative. So we need to check for FF, and if that's not, then we'll do to move down. And basically, we don't need to do another comparison here because it can only really be that. I am going to make sure we jump to behavior done here. There we go. Right, cool. So now we've got three distinct areas where these behaviors are gonna be So wait move. So what does wait move do? Okay, so wait move needs to take the timer and it needs to decrease it till it hits 0, and that's all it needs to do. And then when it hits 0, it then needs to change to moving up. So let's do that. So timer is 6. So do this routine again. There we go. So we get our value and we decrease it. Now at this point, actually we can just put it straight back again at this point. Actually, no, we'll do that. Freestyler. Rock a microphone. Boom. God, that's spot on because I recognise that a mile off. It's going to be someone Finnish that's requested that, surely. It's P175. I don't know if you're Finnish. I don't think you are, though. Very British. I do. It was quite big in Britain as well, wasn't it? This tune, but it was filmed in Helsinki Airport train station. Weirdly, every time I go to Helsinki and I'm in there, I'm like, yeah, freestyler. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, so if we're non-zero, then we just jump to finish way because the timer is still going on here. Otherwise, we need to reset the timer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set the timer to let's create some timer values here. So timer dart weight and oops, timer dart move. So the move is probably going to be equal to how many pixels we want it to move. So I'm going to set it to something low for now, and we'll work on that value. Put that there, and then I can put this. Okay. So now here we need to load the accumulator with timer dart move, which then will get put into here. Oh, actually, it doesn't really matter because I still need to. Okay, I still need to go and change the direction anyway. So I'm just going to have to do this myself manually rather than let it drop down into the next bit. So now we're getting. Let's put some stuff in here. So this is timer. And this is direction. And so what we now need to do is change the direction to FF. Store that. I mean, it looks very inefficient, this bit, but whatever, that's fine. Okay, so oh my god, steps gambling 50,000 at a time. You got issues, dude. Okay, so moving up. So moving up is pretty much going to be a very similar sort of thing. For now, I'm just gonna move it immediately so we can see what's happening. So I'm gonna load accumulator with like 2. do it like this. No need to. Okay, so it's just going to keep going up, but what we should see here now is that it will stay still for a short while and then it will move up. There we go. So that's fine. And so we can change that value. So that is kind of working correctly. Actually, the move up doesn't look too bad either. So we can probably, because it should be a little bit quicker than that. Yeah, that's right. There we go. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the Y movement. And then we're going to do a timer check again. So there we go. We're gonna make this move count up and finish move up. So that's going to be stored. Otherwise, we're going to do the same thing again here. So we're gonna make some changes. And this time we want to go down, so we're going to change this to 0, 1. And we're going to store that. And okay, we need to set a timer value here as well. So we've actually set the direction, but we haven't set a timer. So we're setting the direction, but we haven't set a timer. So copy this. This becomes timer. Oh, we have set it there. Oh, my bad. We have set it. Okay. Oh yeah, because HL has the timer here. Okay, so we set the timer to here. And there we go. We set the direction to up. Okay, cool. That's moving up done. And then moving down is basically the same thing. But with things in reverse. And this time, this becomes dart. Wait, direction becomes 0. And this becomes add. So now we're adding to the Y, checking the timer again. If it runs down to 0, then we do this, which is set the direction to 0. Otherwise, we just store the value back in the timer and continue. So hopefully that should be that entire behavior now. Okay, not bad, but the timings and the distances are a little bit wrong, which all comes down to just timings, really. So let's have a look at these timings. So we can reduce the distance here. The dart move timer decreases the distance, and we can decrease the timer there. So let's try that. So I'm going to half the amount of time it takes to launch. That's not bad, actually. Yeah, that's kind of about right, I think. Yeah, that's all right, I think. It's enough that you can't jump over it while it's in air. That's what we're looking for here. Now let's just stick it back underground again. Let's see how that looks. Canis Laticanis, welcome. Cool, right, so I should be able to run across this, yeah. Check that it's right, yeah. Um, oh, there's still this issue with the when I die, it's not quite setting the timeline right, or the sprite timeline for some reason, and this here as well. So that's a bug I'll have to fix on the next stream, I think. Okay, cool. Yep. All right. I'm pleased with that. Okay, so next item is the drop. So, and that's the last enemy, and then we can start looking at keys and things like that. And then really all we've got after that is music, title screen, intro kind of animation, bug fixing, and level design. So it's really not that much left to go on this at all. Let's get the next enemy in place. Let's move that one over. Right, this is I'm gonna call it acid. That's what it is. Yes. Let's create a new file in here. I think I'm going to do this behavior and then I'm going to go to bed. It's kind of late now, but I'm not going to sleep straight away, so I might as well just continue until I get this behavior done. So I know I'm not going to sleep. It's fucking irritating, but what can I do? Not a lot, really. So I'll work out what these updates need to do shortly, but I'm going to actually I don't know. I can just do it like that. I can work out the rest in a minute. Okay. Enemy acid update. Hayes get that as super speed. 34,000 behind you now. How many points did you get on that one, Hayes? I didn't even see the quiz come up. That must have been super quick. Or I just wasn't noticing it. Recognize the brown sand. 12.1k, 12.8k, okay. I think it's hard to get anything above that, really hard, because you have to be super sure or very lucky to get it from just a very faint into the color. But even getting it around 12 is good, because I mean you're having to guess quite a lot. You're having to make a lot of assumptions about it. So yeah, Proud got 4. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember someone mentioning it anyway. There's some lag between entering the answer and the counter. So yeah, not by much though. I mean it's pretty quick because it's all done locally. So it doesn't take a long. I mean you're probably talking about 20-30 points or something, not much. Okay, so enemy init acid. So let's go into here. So we're going to need an acid one in here as well. Now, here's the thing: we are going to need some colors for keys and things. So I need to just check something, because at the moment I don't think we've got anything saved for them. No, we don't. So we might have to get creative with some of these. I mean, for instance, this one here. So this is our wandering triangle. So we can probably change the color of that to be more of a blue, because if we copy this kind of pattern, in fact, let's try and do that, because we're going to need some colors for the keys. That's the thing here. We could load palettes on the fly, but I don't really want to do that, and I don't think we necessarily need to. So I'm just gonna, in fact, that's what I'm gonna do before we do the acid thing. I'm just gonna make sure we've got some palettes that are gonna work for everything. So I'm gonna change the enemies here a little bit. So I'm gonna put in the triangle and the spring, because maybe we can change the colors of those to match. So let's move that to, well, actually, let's just do this one at a time. So let's start on this one. So this is our triangles thing. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and change the colors of this to be something that we can work with on with the keys as well. So here's the color for this. So that blue doesn't look too bad. That's, I mean, I can accept that as a color of things. The highlight's fine, but now this color here needs to kind of, actually no, it doesn't. It can stay like that, because then if we just have green here, which we're going to need for the acid with the same pattern, if I can see it here, right? So if I change the palette of this, so this becomes it's like a dark gray, isn't it? So let's do that. And this becomes green. This becomes a light color, like so. That looks absolutely fine. So that's great. So we can use that same pattern for this, and then that gives us one more, which we can add a red in here. Okay, cool. Right, we'll go with that. So 7880. So I just need to add that into our palette colors here. 7880. There we go. Right, so now I just want to create the palette for the acid. So it's basically going to be exactly the same as this. In fact, we've already got the right color here almost. So, okay, let's just copy that into here. So because we've also got a heart, but the heart will be red, so we can use the red palette for that. So this is basically the same as this palette here, but with this color changed to green, which is OA60. A60, right, so cool. Right, so let's go and put that into here. Enemies, so palette 6, nice and simple. Enemy acid update, init acid. Okay, so this is kind of, actually it's not that similar at all, but we'll use a similar kind of state system, but we're going to use direction, because there's only one direction for the drop, which is down. So we're going to use this as a state instead. And this is going to have basically 3 states. So the first state is where it's actually in the background, so it appears much like the dart does. It appears behind the background, and it will slowly move down, like one pixel every 8 frames or something like that. And then once it reaches a certain point, which is 16 movements, so it's basically completely out, it will drop and it will move into the second state, which is where it's dropping fast down the screen. In the second state, it has to check collision, so it's constantly checking to see if it's hit the floor. As soon as it hits the floor, it enters the third state, which is it stops moving, but now it starts a frame animation. and it moves through the frames from here to here. And then when that's finished, it will enter probably a 4 state where there's just a little bit. Oh no, it doesn't enter a 4 state; it just goes back up to the top again. Yes, that's it. So it's 3 states. So we'll use this as our state. I think that's all we need. We don't need anything else in here. So we'll start on state 0. Okay, so we've got some weights here. Okay, so okay, so this is how many frames it needs to wait. So it's going to have to move 16 pixels before it can do. Now we're going to have to use the system timer as well to slow this down. Actually, I don't even need that really. Yeah, I don't need that. What I do need is the original Y as well. So because we need to put the thing back as well. Yeah, okay, that should be enough. So we don't even need that. That timer doesn't need to. That timer doesn't need to count down. It just needs to make sure that when the difference between this and this becomes 16, then it moves into the next state. So that can be 0 as well. Okay. So actually, this whole thing is very similar to the original, but not quite. Okay, I'm going to take a little break, guys. I need to go and fill my drink up, go to the loo. I shall be back in 2 minutes, and I'll continue with the acid drop and hopefully get this done in the next half an hour or so. All right, be right back. All right, I'm back. Stop the break. Oh, I knew that one as well. Man, that was quick. That was very quick. That was very quick. You got the last one as well, so you must be closing right in there. It must be very, very close. Okay, cool. I forgot what I was doing there. Okay, yeah, so we need to record the original Y. So the first thing, well, we need to do 2 things here. First of all, we need to make sure that appears behind everything. So we need to go and find that dart. This thing here. Make sure that happens. Okay, so force behind scenery. So we need to make sure that appears behind the scene. It has to appear behind the scene or else it's not going to work. Let's put this in somewhere. So let's put it here. I don't know where that's going to belong. Let's try it there. It might not be enough. Might not be down enough. Let's get rid of this enemy. We don't need 2 enemies on the screen now. We'll just make it hard for ourselves. What's it looking like on the points then? Oh, wow. It's really close now, within 9,000. Yeah, you closed the gap. I knew you would, to be honest. Okay, so it needs to be moved up a little bit. So what I'm trying to do here is just get it inside one of these gaps. So I'm gonna move it across by 16 or so. Let's move it 100. And I'm going to move it up by also 16. Well, I'm going to move it by that. Let's have a look. Okay, it's too far up, too far across now. Damn it. Okay, so let's move it back 8. Let's move it down 8. Okay, that's pretty much spot on. That's pretty much what I want. And that will appear as a little kind of bulge here. Okay, so we're making it appear behind the scenery. So the other thing we need to do at this point is we need to make sure it records the original Y. So the way I'm going to do that is if the state is 0 and the original Y is 0. Well, actually, I'm just going to check if the original Y is 0. So so original Y is 4. So enemy property, we're going to compare that to 0, which we can do with this. So if it's non-zero, we don't need to do it. We just jump to here. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to push HL onto the stack so we can remember how to store that original Y value. And we're going to grab the actual Y value here. And we're going to pop HL back off again. And we're going to load HL to the accumulator. And there we go. We've stored the original Y. This will only happen once every time the enemy, because it's reset here. So every time this enemy loads, damn it. I like how Steps thinks he's got a system and just reading the thing. You want someone else to gamble first. Oh man. Your system is lose fast, yeah. Casinos must rub their hands when they see you coming. Okay, say so original Y is saved. Okay, so now we can start. So let's do the well, let's do it all as different sections. So let's put an exit here. So this is where we're going to exit. Also, I don't know why I've been indenting things like this. It should be indented like that. I don't know why I've suddenly started indenting differently. So, so this is the initial weight. Then we've got the falling drop, and then drop splash. So these are the different states. And so we're going to do this by loading our state in from 3. So if this is non-zero, we're going to jump to falling drops. So let's do the comparison to 0 here. So if it's 0, we're going to do this initial way. If it's not, then we're going to go to falling drop, at which point we're going to compare the accumulator to 1. And if it's not 1, then we're going to go to drop splash. So now we have a way of moving through these various sections. So initial weight. Okay, so what does initial weight do? So basically this is a slow drop. So what we need to do is we need to load our timer. We do have a timer somewhere, frame timer. Here we go. We're going to load this value, and only if this frame value is actually, first thing we need to do here is set the frame. Always need to make sure the frame is set at this point. So so our frame here is, so this is 40, this is 60, which means this is 62, 64, 66, 68. So 68 is our frame. But we need to grab the frame as well from here. Okay, so I mean, just by doing this alone, we should just get the right frame. So let's just have a look at that. Oh my God, is this the first time I've heard Airwolf tonight? Nah, surely not. Acid 59. There we go. We have the drop up here. It's actually a little bit too green. You can see it needs to kind of match this key here. So um, it needs to match this green here, I think, which is 26C9. So let me put that in. That's the color. You played it 3 times. I haven't heard it tonight. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. Have we got any more people on the board tonight? It's been some pretty fast scores tonight. You guys are getting a lot better at this. Still 15 on the board there. Okay, so there we have our drop. It's behind the scenery here. Now we need to move it down. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take our frame timer, and if the frame timer, if we end the frame timer with, let's pick a fairly slow frame. So we'll end it with this. If that's non-zero, then we're just going to jump to exit. However, if it isn't non-zero, then we need to start advancing things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the value in Y. So we're going to put a note here. So move drip down. So there we go. We're going to grab that value. We're going to increase it. And then we're going to put it back into that position. Now, I'm also going to move it into B. And the reason for that is because I want to, in a second, do a check now to see if we've moved far enough. And that's going to be done by grabbing whatever it was. Again, I forgot which one it was. Original Y4. Okay. Let's put some things on these. Okay, so now the accumulator contains original Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load that into C, then I'm going to load accumulator with B, and then I'm going to subtract C from the accumulator. And now the value is going to be the distance we've moved from the original position. So now I'm going to compare that to 16. And if that is not 16, I'm going to go to exit. However, if it is 16, move to falling states. And so to do this, all we need to really do here is just change our enemy property of state to state 1. We need to make sure we jump to exit when we're finished because we don't want to drop down into the falling drop straight away. And then what I'm going to do in here, just for the sake of making this work, is I'm just going to make the drip suddenly start moving really quickly when it gets to this point, with no collision checks yet. But okay, cool. So it needs to move a little bit smoother up here. and a bit faster when it falls. It's also falling behind here, but that's fine. This is just a matter of position and the drops where it's not going to fall behind these things. It's an unfortunate problem. Actually, it doesn't necessarily have to. It could be as soon as it comes out, it can switch to in front again. Let's try that. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so oops, what the hell did I do there? Okay, that's weird. Okay, so it's the same thing. We're just resetting this bit instead. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that this happens at the right points. So if we're in the initial way, then we'll force it behind the scenery. Otherwise, if we start falling, we'll do this one here. So hopefully now that should solve that issue of it kind of appearing in front of things. And it hasn't started falling. And the reason it hasn't started falling is because I've done it for the comparison. It should be here instead. There we go. Okay, so first thing is I noticed that the position means that it's falling a little bit too late. I think it needs to kind of fall a bit sooner than that. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this a constant. I'm going to call it drop dist before fall. I'm also going to speed it up a little bit so it falls a little bit quicker. So it drips a bit quicker. There we go. It's a huge drip as well. I'm sure it's not that big on the original game. But you can see now it is indeed falling in front of everything, and then when we reset it, it will appear back again. So that's kind of good. Let's try speeding this up a little bit on its fall down. Yeah, I think that's probably a better speed. Should be a pretty quick speed, really. Okay, okay, cool. So now it's falling. So now what we can do is we can check the ground underneath. So what have we got? We've got enemy check up, enemy check down. Here we go. It's checking quite a long way down. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do enemy check down force because I think that's been used somewhere else. This is for the flying things to make sure that their distance is correct. So I'm actually going to change it in the flying thing rather than here. So it's in the back. Because the bat has a slight difference in that it bounces a lot sooner on the ground. So here, and just check down force here. Should be like that. There we go. And then that means I can just use normal check down here. So just to look at an existing behavior, let's just go with that for now. We check down. Is collision solid? If it is, collide. Monty Python. Wow. Wow. That has to be the gap almost closed now, right? What did you get? Oh, you put month. I feel like Hayes has been practicing typing all week to not make any typos. He's even got the apostrophe in there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh man, look at that. That's like 1,300 between you. 1,200. 1,227 to be precise. Okay, so we're checking down. If there is a collision, we jump to here. Otherwise, we'll jump to exit because we don't need to do anything. We jump to exit. If there is a collision, then we don't do reverse direction. What we do is we change our state again. So let's copy this and move to splash state. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make it stop basically. So I'm just going to put 2 in here, and that will just mean that we come to this and don't do anything else. So what we should see is the drop go down, fall, and then stop when it hits the ground. There we go, perfect. And I die when I hit it. Cool. So that's exactly what we want. So the final state is just animating through this now. Okay. So again, we'll use the timer here. So this frame timer here. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to say, okay, if the frame timer is set, then we're going to advance the frame by 2. So we're then going to take our frame, which is this one here. And instead of setting it directly like that, what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 to it. And what that's going to do is it's going to advance through this animation here. So this is 6.8 and this is 8.0. So actually it would come to 6.8, 6.8, 6. So it would go to 7.0. So we need to compare this to 7.0. And if that is equal, then set acid. It's going to be here. Otherwise, we're going to store it and continue. And all reset acid is going to do is basically this. It's just going to set our animation back to 0 again. So hopefully that should give us a full flow of animation there. No, not quite. Okay, it didn't reset the position back to here. Okay, so we need to reset the state, but then what we also need to do is get the original Y. We'll put that to B. And then we'll get the original, then we actually get the Y. There we go. I'm not sure how this is going to work. And okay, it went straight back up to the top again. Okay, let's have a look. To reset. Oh, okay, so here we should jump to exit. Cool. And there we go. And it's enough time to walk past it, so that's cool. I'd like to change the animation a little bit. It's not quite how I want it. I might add another couple of frames in, but it's not too bad. We're not distracting Shalom enough today. It's getting too much done. Quick, someone talk about solder. Solder. I think I'm going to call it a night there then, guys. It's pretty good. Quite pleased. quite looking. I'm on a mission tomorrow, so I got my little Raspberry Pi. I just put the heatsink on it today. So I'm gonna install bare metal TIC80 emulator on this tomorrow, and then I don't know. I might actually put it inside one of my Spectrum, because I've got 3 Spectrum 48K plus cases. These things. So I've got 3 of these. They're all broken machines. And I'm going to put my ZX Uno in one of them. But I may actually use it for the TIC80 machine as well, because it's kind of fairly decent keyboard. It's not a terrible keyboard. Okay, cool. On that note, I'm quite pleased with that. That's all the enemy behaviors done. Just need to do the keys and the extra life heart and a bit of bug fixing, and then that's pretty much the gameplay complete. Oh, in vulnerability as well. All right, let's have a look who we can raid. Thanks for coming along tonight, guys. It's been good. I know I complain a lot about the Z80 streams, but I do actually enjoy them. They're pretty good. Tonda's playing pinball. Let's go and see Tonda. Oh, it is a get. I thought for a minute then I thought it was a real pinball table. And I realised he probably doesn't live in a casino, so. Okay, right. Let's get this raid on the way. Okay, cheers, guys. I'll see you on Thursday for some Checkanoid. Take care.